Hey there, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto here in Japan. We're looking today at a Nissan President, which is also kind of known as the Q45 long wheelbase version, but in Japan it has the better name, the President. And then this would be Nissan's top of the line car that fights or dukes it out with the Toyota Century. It is the biggest and I guess most expensive Nissan that was available at the time, and I think actually, I don't know the Q45 very well. I'm not even sure if those vehicles were ever sold in Canada, because a lot of the companies were like, well, we'll make these cars to compete with Lexus in the USA, but then in Canada it's just too expensive because some requirements are slightly different. It comes with a longitudinally mounted, not transverse mounted, even though it looks like it is, V8 engine, 4.5 liters, rear wheel drive, standard spring suspension on this one, pearl paint, and this is one of the best condition of any car that we've exported, but definitely of the President, which there have been a few that have gone to the USA under the 25-year import rule. Okay, and so engine-wise, no issues with it. 32,000 original kilometers and clean as a whistle body makes this an amazing car all the way around. It has very few issues. One of the issues is it has power curtains in the back. And the curtains are still there. You can kind of see them through there. They're supposed to close. See those lace ones? But that function doesn't work. And then it has a bit of peeling on the sunroof there. But otherwise, the paint is in perfect condition. Really no scratches or dents. This is the auction inspection sheet. That's I'll translate that for you in just a second. Talking about the engine, it is weird taking a look there because usually on an intake, the left would feed the left bank, and the right side of the intake would feed the right bank, except it's opposite. If you have a look at how it actually works, your banks are this way, but the intake is this way. It is very odd looking, but I guess it's not that weird. This isn't actually leaking. I just opened it up to check it, and the coolant is squeaky clean, and the brake fluid is squeaky clean. The power steering is a little bit slow, so something you're going to want to take a look at, but engine oil looks good. Got a nice big battery there. A 95 series. Okay, so not much to say about this. Going to close the hood. I would be interested if anybody actually knows the Q45 very well to see what the differences are, because this is one of my weak points in my knowledge of cars. I believe the Q45 could be had in two wheelbases, and then the President could only be had in the longer of them. Or it could be that the President is actually longer than any of the Q45s. I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay, so let's go over the auction inspection sheet here, and I will translate this for you. So 1993 President J's Type S. I don't really know the difference between all of the little sub-models of the President. 31,035 kilometers on here. Still has current registration. As you can see, it had Japanese plates on it. Auction grade 4, interior B, so that's a nice high grade. Never had an accident. Doesn't have unknown mileage. Power steering, power windows, airbag. Aftermarket wheels on it. And doesn't come with the original wheels. It says seat is dirty, steering wheel wear, various scratches and dents on the car. You can see here it says A1, U1. All of these are referenced on the web page what they mean. A is a scratch, U is a small dent. Small paint peeling on the roof, that's the one I already showed you. And then the A2 here is a scratch on the front bumper. And a front bumper is the place where you will typically see the most amount of scratches. I'll show you here, and normally it would be on the corner because somebody misgauged the corner there. But you can see this one, the bumper sticks out, and then the under bit tucks in, and the scratch is actually on the under bit, which is a different color. It's weird for a two-tone car to have one of the two tones taking up so little of the car space. Usually it would be somewhere around the waistline, but here we have it just on the sills and just on the underside here. And then the scratch, it's actually a pretty big scratch, but it's not very visible, as you can see there. Okay, Nissan, chrome grille, and hood ornament. That's cool. Okay, so let's do a once around here. Tires on it are a 2002 tire, so quite old, and yet they still have like 90-95% of their tread left on them. It's very odd. And in fact, the tires are still kind of soft or like grippy to the touch in the same way that a new tire would be. And usually, even on like a rarely used tire, you won't get that same feeling of it. And so I believe that this car has been in a garage all of its life, which is pretty rare for a Japanese car because a lot of people will have a place like this, like a neighborhood parking area where they park their cars. It's very uncommon for people to park their cars at their own house in many areas. Like in this area, all the places have their own car parking spot. But as you can see, none of them actually have like a cover or a garage door that closes. Okay, pull back here. It's a big car. I know the videos don't really do it justice, but for Japan, this is a huge car. It is, I guess, smaller than 7 Series, but only slightly. Okay, so you can see here the paint on the hood. And it's a pearl paint that looks lovely in the sun. It's not sunny right now. I mean, it was when I first started shooting this, and it looked great. Side panels to perfection. Very nice. And although the wheels are a company that I don't know, they're a good looking wheel and they're in fantastic condition. And I think that they suit the car pretty well. Giving it a little bit of grandpa bling. Speaking of grandpa bling, we got the lace seat covers, half seat covers that are popular in Japan. And I'll show you those in a sec. So power seats. It also has a really cool function that when you turn the engine off, the steering wheel tilts up and the seat moves all the way back to make it easy to get in and out of. A few other cars have that. I think that the Century has that. Hi-Ace has that. I think that one over there has it. That Hi-Ace. But it is very cool. Here are the grandpa seat covers. Love these. Everybody does. These come original on a lot of this style of car in Japan, and they're half covers, and so something that would definitely not be sold in the USA because it wouldn't fit US tastes. But then the having one imported after 25 years of being on the road in Japan and having those weird quirky little JDM accents is really appealing to a lot of people these days. AC is a little bit weird. It's super cold because it's winter time right now. I have it set to 18, which is the lowest temperature, but I won't turn on the AC. Instead, we got the heater, and it's clear that it is the heater because it's warmer than the atmosphere. And so I think that you can't actually have the AC on when it's really cold, which makes sense, but then I can't check it to see if it functions. So a little bit of a pain there. Power steering works, but it's a bit lumpy, especially if you try to turn really quickly. 31,069 kilometers at the time of shooting this. Cool little Japanese there. It says 35 more kilometers until you run out of gas. I guess a more modern looking dashboard than the Century has, or the Crown, or basically any Toyotas of this era. Tape deck, CD player is in the back, multi-disc, automatic transmission shifts properly. Odd here that we've got the power windows, only 3 of them. If you want to undo your driver's one, it's on the door. But only the driver's one is on the door, none of the other ones. And then it's got this really dumb system, like 3 different buttons, and then each of these buttons has different, like 3 buttons in this, 3 buttons in this, and 2 buttons in this. Is a little bit confusing. Really, BMW and Mercedes got that down properly with how to do the multi-button door power seat thing. And let's see who was driving it last. Oh, they didn't set it. That's a little bit weird. So no power seat settings in there means we can't find out who was driving it last time. Okay. Nice big trunk in this. And nice big back seats. I got the front seat pushed back in the full back position there, so that gives you an idea of how much leg room that you have. It's not as much as you would think in a big car like this, but it is a comfy looking seat, and the back seat drivers get their own cool half leather JDM seats. What do we got in here? Radio controls and AC controls. And what's this? Air purifier in the back. And I don't know what this button does. Mystery button. Okay, and president. So if you're in the back, you get to know who you are. I was joking with Mike, the guy that we work with, about the Nissan President, and it never really hit me. These days, having a car named the Nissan President might not have as good of a brand image as it did before 2016. although we have no people from the United States in our office, so we don't really know how other people feel about that. But generally speaking, now is a very weird time for presidents, to say the least. President. Cool. CD changer is here. Spare tire is a space saver size one, giving you all the room for your Costco trips if you want. And then parts for something like this would be easy to get because it's basically an Infinity in the States. I think I might have said a Nissan Q45, but it's an Infinity model, even though it's a Nissan here, sort of the same way as Toyota Celsior is a Lexus LS400. Okay, there you have it. Excellent condition. Very cool JDM car making its way to the USA. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.